What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Mike Podcast. That's Mix in Chat. I'm your boy Javi, here with my boy D-Lo.
Yo, what's up?
Now let's get into it. Alright, y'all, this episode we're gonna call What's Out There and Should We Be Worried? But first, before we get into that, how's it going, D-Lo? What's your number for this week?
Oh, man, I gotta say, it's pretty tiring. Had some issues going on earlier with this weekend, but I'm gonna go say it's about 7.5, about 8.
You are always at a 7. That's not a bad thing. I say that, it's not a bad thing. So a 7.
It's just trying to keep my energy up. I'm excited for this episode.
We need to get you to an 8 or a 9 or a 10. Period. But you want to elaborate on why you're at a 7 or anything like that, or you just want to keep it surface?
Well, as most people know, my wife's been dealing with some endometriosis, and it's about the time where she goes through excruciating pain,
right?
To where it's like ER worthy. So,
oh man,
just been dealing with that and fighting through that. So, we did get some good ground way today on that. So,
oh good.
Hopefully, she was pointed into a person that can help her more. So,
okay.
So yeah. So, how you feeling?
So I would put myself at, I would say an 8.5, a 9. Like I can't really complain. Like my body hurts from all this walking I've been doing at this new job, but I can't complain about it because I have a new job and I'm able to actually like do a 9 to 5 and come home and lay down and not put so much wear and tear on my car. And I know that you're working towards that, which I feel like once you get into that, that'll probably ump you up another half a point or a full point. So
yeah, that's what I'm hoping. It's just this DoorDash thing. It's been rough here lately. It's just,
oh my gosh, I don't miss waking up every day to do it. I will say that.
I mean, waking up to do it, it's not bad. It's just the way. It's just.
Oh, for me it is.
It's just that. It's just that drop off that we had, like where we was making so much, and then all of a sudden, we like now it's like I'm losing so much for, for the new people and then the new tier system they put in, and it's just.
So since I've been gone from DoorDash, and has it picked up a little bit? Have you been able to make a little more?
Not really. I'm still about the same right now, but I got a new hypothesis on what on how to do it. So
let me in on the secret. What is it?
I've heard some people talking about how when they get to a 90% AR, which is acceptance rating for those that don't know, they've been seeing nothing but $20 to $30 orders. But
when we was at that percentage and had this new system, we wasn't getting that.
I haven't been to that percentage in a long time.
But we were up in the 80s, 85% at one point, and we wasn't getting that.
Actually, I haven't. I've been close to 80, but I have not been to that point.
Well, I've been at 84 at a platinum and not being seeing orders like, yeah, honey, I gotta go over to Qdoba's to hit up a good catering order to get something like that.
So it's
I hope you get up there so you can tell me.
Yeah, because what was it? Which would make sense, because if they're going off the tier system,
yeah,
it would only make sense the higher rating you got, the bigger orders you got.
Yeah, the higher the tip size.
They have to. The algorithm has to set it to somebody.
Yeah,
like it has to go within a certain order.
Yeah, there has to be a hierarchy, and then those people that get the fall off. Yeah. So I hope it really works out. I really, really do, and I hope
it'll work until I get me a job.
Yeah, I feel like when it gets to that, you'll be coming in here, walking in here like I'm at a 10. Period.
Yeah.
Off the cuff. We ain't even got to record. I'm at a 10. So fingers crossed that once you get up there, you'll start seeing those orders, or if not, you get a job before then.
Yeah.
But. Let's go right into the episode. You want to do that?
I'm excited for it.
All right, let's get into it. All right, y'all. So this episode is all about space science. We're getting into NASA and the ventures that they're going on. So, D-Lo, let us know what's been going on.
All right. So, back in 2020, they released a mission called the Ingenuity mission.
Ingenuity.
And so basically, what they did was they sent it's like a helicopter drone to Mars.
Wait, a helicopter drone to Mars. They shot it in a rocket over there, and then when it got over there, it became a helicopter.
Well, what they did was they sent a rover. They put a rover on a rocket, and which is preservation.
Got you.
Perseverance.
Perseverance is a rover.
Yeah, Perseverance is a rover.
Okay.
So what they did was they sent that to Mars. It landed.
And then Ingenuity popped out of it.
Yeah.
Got you.
So it launched in July 30th, 2020. And the length of the mission, it was supposed to be January 25th, 2024. We'll get into that because kind of things happened, which
pushed it back.
Well, no, to end it kind of ended the mission early. Well, not really early, but it was kind of
had some setbacks in it.
Yeah. So, basically, they just did it to prove that it could fly in Mars' thin atmosphere.
Okay. Because Mars' atmosphere is not compatible to here on Earth.
It's really thin.
It's a lot thinner. Yeah, got you.
So
and those sandstorms is bad over there, I heard. Yeah, so it was able to Ingenuity through that.
Right. So
ain't that the name of it? Ingenuity. Come on.
So it landed. Like I said, it launched on July 30th, 2020. It landed February 18th, 2021.
Oh, dang. So it took like a month to get over there.
It took a year.
Oh, 2020 to 2021.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So it had 3 missions to it.
Okay.
The first mission was technology demonstration that would make about 5 test flights in a 30-day span.
Okay.
They completed 72 flights in just under 3 years.
Oh.
So, and then it flew higher and faster than they thought it was. Okay. So, that right there is a success.
Oh yeah, it's an achievement.
Yeah.
For sure.
Then it went into operation demonstration. It did some aerial scoutings, kind of show scientists and the rover planning, kind of like the lay of the land. What it would do was Perseverance would follow it at first. Follow Ingenuity? Ingenuity, so that way it would kind of keep the signal together.
Right.
So it did that, and it was kind of learning for Perseverance landing gear, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So, it was then.
So it's like a big brother teaching a little sister.
Basically.
Okay. And I say little sister because the big brother's on the ground and the little sister's in the sky.
And then it went to the final phase, which the final phase was an engineering demonstration, where it executed experimental flights to test how far it can expand from Perseverance.
As far as how far it could go without like being tethered, pretty much.
Right.
Like, can it go off on its own and then leave Perseverance behind?
Yeah.
And then come back to Perseverance and be good.
Exactly.
Got you.
And then plus they wanted to let it learn the aerodynamic limits. How, like, especially because Mars has like very harsh terrain.
Oh yeah.
Weather and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So it had to figure out the aerodynamics of the blades, which
gotcha.
During one of them, it did a harsh landing, and the picture that Ingenuity sent back, you can see in the shadow that one of the blades was damaged.
Ooh.
So that kind of ended the mission early.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, now that kind of opens the door for its sister project mission,
which is the Dragonfly. Okay.
And which is in development right now.
Yeah, and I got a little bit on Dragonfly.
So,
a lot of it, actually.
Yeah, but my thing is I don't really necessarily think that it was landing that damaged the blade.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of talks of there's still a alien base on Mars.
It could have been like a sandstorm.
It could have been. It could have been.
Look, your hypothesis is to the extreme 20. I mean, I'm not opposed to it because I feel like there's a base. I feel like there's extraterrestrials out there, and I feel like they probably are observing us from different planets within our solar system, or even moons within our solar system.
There's supposedly one on the moon.
I know.
So, and then that's when the Apollo 11, when they landed there, they said that they seen some things, and they was kind of told they had to move along.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hey, it could have been some extraterrestrial being that smacked that motherfucker out the sky. You know, you are doing too much whack.
Right.
Or it could have been a aircraft that hit.
It could have been. I mean, but like I said, it does have harsh terrains, as we're told.
My thing is, like, it's not controlled by, like, a remote control. So does it have those maneuvering capabilities if something's coming at it? Or do they think that there's nothing up there that's going to come at it, so it just goes at its own?
It does have some type of control.
But who's controlling it? Is it people here? Because wouldn't there be a difference in the lag of time from here to Mars?
Yeah, but they can still kind of...
I'm sure they can
still give it guidance with the code.
But then the code would take a while to get there, so it's like they're giving it guidance for when they get to a certain point. You need to give the guidance now, because in about 20 days it's going to get to this point, and it needs to go ahead and know that it needs to, or in like a couple of hours it's going to get to this point and needs to know that it needs to turn.
Yeah, so it's all about how fast the code gets to it, or how sync it can be.
How in sync, for sure.
I mean, I know there's certain pictures that it took, like, you know, like I said, it took a year for it to get there.
Yeah.
You know, so how fast it can transmit coding and transmit a signal back and forth to each other.
Seriously.
So,
and with the atmosphere being so thin, that's another like barrier that's kind of messing with it.
So, but also, because the reason why they're doing this is because, like I said, it opens up in the Dragonfly mission. And that's all I got on that one.
All right. Well, when we come back, we are going to get into its sister mission, which is NASA's Dragonfly mission that's coming up in a couple of years. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. All right, y'all. So welcome back, and now we are going to turn it over to myself, period, and get into the Dragonfly mission, which is the sister mission of the one that D-Lo was just talking about. So the Dragonfly mission, the Dragonfly is a rotorcraft lander, which is going to land, and just like with D-Lo's project, there's going to be one that's hovering, and there's going to be one that's on the ground actually riding. This is planned to launch in July of 2028. The target destination is Saturn's moon, Titan. And the objective when it gets to Titan is to explore the different and diverse locations on the moon and to characterize the habitability of Titan's environment. So, Titan is an ocean world with a dense atmosphere, kind of similar to Earth. And it's the only moon in the solar system that has those capabilities to support a Earth-like hydrological cycle of methane clouds, rain, and liquid flowing across the entire surface to fill lakes and oceans, okay? So, I think that's super interesting that it's the only moon in the entire solar system that has flowing water on
that
it.
That
we know of. Besides Pluto, which is technically not a planet anymore, and it's frozen, but it's still liquid. So, the reason that they want to do their research on this particular moon of Saturn's, this makes it an ideal destination to study the conditions necessary for habitability of the extraterrestrial environment with the kind of chemical interactions that occur before life developed on Earth. So they see that there are capabilities or interactions chemically that are going on that moon that happened here on Earth before life was formed. So that just goes to show you that, oh, there might be like life actually forming on the planet already, that with this new chemical interaction is going to boost it to start developing like Earth did in the past. So they don't know if there's life already on the planet. And when we say life or extraterrestrials on the planet, it's not necessarily people or gray aliens or anything like that. It could be microscopic life that is formed in water, on land, anything, even in the air. You never know. So how Titan was discovered to have these qualities was, in the past, Titan had been observed in 1979 and 1980 by NASA's two Voyager spacecraft, but the haze of the atmosphere on Titan kind of obscured the surface, which means they couldn't really see what the surface looked like because of like the hazy fog that was over the moon. So, in 1994, the Hubble Space Telescope imaged Titan to reveal that it had large, bright, and dark regions on its surface. However, Titan's surface landforms were not noticed or discovered until July of 2004. So this has been going on for decades.
Yeah.
They have been trying to see what's going on Titan for decades. So this isn't something new, y'all. NASA has been looking and researching this particular moon and other moons, but this particular moon, because of the qualities that it possesses, from even a little glimpse of what they thought they seen all the way up until the point of what we're about to get into that happened on July 2004. So they have been doing their research for a really long time.
I know, and it kind of raised some questions with me, which because as we know, there is a galaxy that neighbors us that is moving towards us.
So do you think that's why they're looking at that moon? So maybe they trying to get human life over there to, like, in case of
well, that, and I mean, look at this, look at the way this planet's shaping out. I mean, we're doing horrible things to this planet.
Oh, we're doing damage.
So I think eventually, yeah, they're going to try to
expand life.
Yeah, because I mean, they've already been talking about it as far as like Elon Musk and all them talking about, moving civilization. They've even tried to put see if they could put a base on the moon.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not a bad idea. You always want, it's like having a house in Lexington and also having a vacation home in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one on Earth and one on the moon,
right.
Just in case when it gets too hot over here, we can go on over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which, like I said, there's some questions about, plus, I mean, this planet's also been hit with some extinction level events before, so.
and it's getting around due time for another extinction event. I'm not saying that it's going to happen in our lifetime or the next lifetime, but at some point it's going to be another extinction level critical situation that happens that's going to wipe out a large part of the race, or the human race, or make some type of life form go extinct. So I mean, you've seen that in the dinosaurs. You've seen that in the plenty of ages. In the oceans, there was a whole extinction level event that happened. With the dinosaurs, there was an extinction level event happening. With even earlier mankind, there was an extinction level event that happened.
And I'm just not even saying on the extinction level is on Earth, per se. Because I have some theories on, and get into that.
But I feel like if that other galaxy starts to intertwine, honey, that's going to be the extinction level event. Because we're going to be starting to clash with other planets and other moons, or they're going to get and throw us off our axis, or anything could happen.
Well, I mean, they've seen when like galaxies collide before.
It's not pretty. I mean, it's literally the prettiest thing in the world, but at the same time,
but they don't really. They haven't seen, like, they just seen like a glimpse of it. Like they don't know what
from the images I've seen.
Yeah, but I mean, anything can happen. I mean, a galaxy planets can move in, and they could just go around and orbit just
each other.
Yeah, you know. So, but gravity's a funny thing.
Yeah, and then that could actually cause catastrophe on our planet as far as how our oceans move, just like with the moon. And then you got to think, if we get intertwined with another planet that's starting to orbit us, what happens to our moon? Does that planet hit our moon? Does the moon come into us? Like, there's a whole bunch that plays into it. But back to Miss Dragonfly, honey. So in July of 2004, NASA's Cassini spacecraft, I think I'm saying that right, Cassini or Cassini spacecraft, used radars and imaging at near infrared wavelengths to glimpse what was below this haze on the moon of Titan's atmosphere. It performed over 100 close flybys of the moon, and Cassini's orbiter mapped most of Titan's surface and made detailed studies of the atmosphere, showing us, which when I say us, I mean NASA, because we are still getting stuff declassified to where we could see it. But what they did show us, it gave us glimpses of rivers, lakes, and even seas of ethane and methane, which are mainly components of natural gases, as well as sand dunes. So it kind of gave us like forms of rock or forms of like dunes, and like I said, it's a water world. So those gases also can cause clouds that we see with our water vapors creating clouds in our atmosphere as well. So that gives it the compounds of, okay, there might be some habitability on this planet, on this moon. Let me not say that. They might turn it into a planet, like they turned Pluto into a moon instead of a planet. But Titan's climate is 4 times denser than Earth. The gravity on Titan is 1/7 of Earth's. So this pretty much means these things combined, the rainfall, the droplets fall a lot slower on that planet than they do on Earth. And when I say a lot slower, like a good rainfall is rare on Titan. These things happen like you'll have a shower today, and like a century later, you'll have another shower. That's how rare rainfall is. Or when it does rain, it rains for like a really long time because it takes so long for the rain droplets to fall. But NASA wants to go and do their research on it to see what the habitability is and see if there's anything on there worth like reporting back, as far as if there's life on the planet, if life is starting to form on the planet, what developing stages of the moon, I keep saying planet, of the moon that it's in as relations to when Earth developed and what those stages look like. So it's a lot going on with as far as the Dragonfly mission, and I'm excited to see what's going on. And all this is credit of science.nasa.gov. I got all my research from there. They have several links to look up as well, as far as what we're doing out there, why this is important, who's looking at this, and what this could mean for us. So there's different tabs you can research and look at.
You can also look and get live feeds from the ISS.
Oh yeah,
the International Space Station. I used to do that a lot.
Oh, I still do that sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Because like I said, like it draws me into this because like I'm a really big stargazer.
Into astrology. Yeah. Well, not astrology, but
so
the solar system.
Yeah, so I even have like stargazing apps and.
Oh, I would literally look out and stare at the stars, and I would see stuff moving, and I knew it wasn't a aircraft, and I would run in and be like, "Oh my God, come out here, look at this!" And I would just like stare at it. And there was one night that I looked up at the sky, and there was 2 dots in the sky that were beside stars. And I was like, hold on, wait, because these dots are way different. So I stared up at them for like 45 minutes. I blinked, of course, but my eyes were super dry because I did not want to take my eye off of them. So while staring at them, they started moving. One would move up a little bit, and then the other one would move up, and then the other one would start moving to the left, and then the other one, the second one, start moving to the left, and then the one that started moving first disappeared, and then the second one kept moving to the point of where that other one disappeared, and then it had disappeared. And so like I'm like, there's stuff out there. I know there is. They can't hide it from me because I see it. When I see a star that's super bright in the sky as opposed to all the other stars, but then I look over and I see the North Star, I'm like, hold on, this is weird. Like, I'm so into what's going on out there.
Actually, that's funny that you mentioned the North Star, because apparently we're just now still seeing the light from the North Star, but it burned out like a long time ago.
Yes.
And we're still seeing the light from
But
it.
that's what they say about stars, period. Like, those are just lights of stars that burnt out long ago.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing like 2 billion year old lights from stars that have been gone, and new stars have developed, and we just haven't got those lights yet. Yeah, that's crazy.
So, and I've always been, like I said, I just from the days of watching Star Trek with my dad.
Oh God,
growing up on Star Wars.
I'm not a fan of either, but I like to watch the movies.
I've just always been,
and the TV shows.
His space always fascinated me, and like one of my favorite memories of my dad was he ended up getting, it wasn't nothing major, it wasn't nothing big, but he did get a little telescope that we used to look through at night. And
wow.
So yeah, like it's just like when I first got my license, I used to go to Richmond because they have a planetarium.
And that's Richmond, Kentucky, or Madison County, Kentucky.
And they had a planetarium.
Yes.
Is the coolest thing ever.
Yes. Are you talking about on campus?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It is cool as heck.
Yeah.
I love that thing. I love that place. I said that place. But yeah, there is so much going on in the atmosphere and in the solar system and in outer space. Like, we're gonna do so many different episodes when it comes to this, and even get into Elon Musk's little adventures that he's taken outside of our own atmosphere, because he's got a lot going on too, with his different space stations that he's building and launching things from. And didn't he put a Tesla out there?
It was a satellite, I think.
I thought he literally put an entire Tesla in outer space. It wouldn't surprise me.
He did put one. He did put something that's called a Starlink satellite in the atmosphere, in this orbits Earth.
I'm like, one day a Tesla, we just go see a Tesla fall down to Earth and just destroy us all because this man to put a Tesla out in the universe.
But so, and then of course, you know, I like conspiracies, and there is a show, YouTube channel I watch. It's called the Wi-Fi Files. And if you like conspiracy theories, go check it out. It's a good series. It's worth a watch.
And I don't think all of them are conspiracies, because I feel like a lot of those things could be actually true.
It's still considered conspiracy.
I know, but not something.
It's not proven.
It's not proven, but it's facts.
Yeah. But
he drops knowledge on y'all, so y'all better go check it out if y'all really into that thing.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder.
It does make you wonder, and there's been a couple episodes he's dropped here recently that gets into the different types of alien races that battle each other or kind of observe us. Yeah. So
I think aliens made us.
Yeah.
That's one of the running theories that I have. Like, we were made by aliens.
That is actual a running theory.
And like, if you think about it, they say that people came down out of the sky. Like, let's be serious. Or like, God risen and brought his only son. Like, is the God that y'all are really talking about, is that an extraterrestrial?
Yeah, I mean, there's
it's a whole lifestyle. Like
yeah.
you
I mean,
really, if you really get
like
into it.
it's kind of like.
I'm not knocking no religion. Let me put that out there real quick before you do that.
We're not doing blasphemy here.
You believe what you want to believe. I believe what I want to believe. But I'm just putting out there my thoughts or my what theories. Am I saying? My theories, yeah, my thoughts and theories, my fairy tales and fantasies. If we are getting into it,
but I mean, if you look at the Egyptian hieroglyphics, you can see some of the spaceships.
Facts. You can see some of the extraterrestrials.
In ancient Greece, you know, they talked about their gods being, you know, larger than life, you know, bigger than any man, which that is a running theory that it was the giants that did inhabit the planet, and they used to mate with mankind, and that
very much
that would create the demigods, as far as like Hercules and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it gets a lot crazier. So.
There's a lot of theories out there, y'all, and you pick and you dissect what you choose to believe. Y'all choose what y'all want to believe, what y'all don't want to believe, but don't knock anybody on anything they want to believe or anything they want to like take as a theory and run with, because you don't know. Nobody knows what the real truth is behind anything, any of this. And if they do know, they're not going to tell us.
Yeah.
Because religion makes too much money for them. And the people that aren't religious cause too much drama to keep religions relevant.
And so the people that keep saying, you know, you got science people that saying that science can't coexist with religion, and which I don't think that is necessarily the case, because something, I mean, what I think is like our body's way too complicated for it just to happen. So facts. Something has got to create it.
Facts. Like you literally are telling me that, and I'm not knocking your religion when I say this. These are just questions that come through my head when I think about what's in the good book. So somebody created a man, and then took his rib and created a woman.
Well,
or used his rib to create a woman, or he created these two beings from dirt. How?
So, and that's why I'm saying, like, the whole evolution can coexist with creationism.
Yeah.
But
something had to actually create this organism that is you and me. Like, as far as the insides of us, how they're intertwined perfectly to where we're able.
I mean, just our minds in general.
No wonder aliens are coming down here and abducting people and probing them to do research on them, because they came down here and made us, and then taking us back to see, okay, this is how advanced they are now. This is how advanced they've gotten since we created them. Since the last time we came down here to grab them and check them. This is how more advanced they have become. But they taking the dumbest people. And no offense to the people that's been abducted by aliens, but they could have took like a Bill Gates or somebody that is very knowledgeable. Even
I mean, who's to say that they didn't?
Who's to say those people aren't aliens?
Like they claim that Elon Musk is a robot.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe he's a robot. He might be an extraterrestrial, but I don't believe
there's
he's a
something
robot.
going on with that man, because he's just, there's movements and there's ways that
his antics.
Yeah, like, and his mannerisms and stuff that just don't really actually fit like a normal person.
I can see extraterrestrialism in his body. Like I said, these are theories, y'all. These are theories.
Yeah, these are definitely theories. So,
but I see what you're saying as far as how he interacts with people and how he looks, like physically looks, and how he like just goes about his daily stuff is a lot different than what
Yeah, and it's kind of
a
like he
typical
don't
person does.
like his emotions. It kind of almost aligns with Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. Like,
And maybe he's very that.
It very possibly could be, but it just there's something not right
Maybe
about
Sheldon's
that man.
character was based off of Elon
It
Musk.
probably is.
So we don't know, but yeah, there's a lot going on in the universe, in the solar system, in our clouds and above, and we're gonna have way many more episodes that talk about that. I'm so interested in seeing how far the Andromeda galaxy is from us. Do you know?
Yeah, actually, it is 2.5 million light years away.
So that's not far.
It's not, but it's also moving 200 miles per second.
Oh shit.
It says it could reach us about 4.5 million years.
In 4.5 million years?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be gone. Okay, I'm fine with that.
So the theory that I have with it.
Look, I'm fine with that. I'm long gone unless they create something to where my brain is still here. But then I don't care.
So the theory that I have with that is because we've actually never really seen past our sun, like on the other side.
Okay.
Like we've seen like glimpses of things.
Yeah, are there planets over there?
Yeah, well that's where the Andromeda is.
Yeah,
so my theory is, have you ever gone out and you've looked at the moon and actually seen it in the daytime more clearly now?
Yes.
So I think that our solar system, and where we're able to get to places like Titan now, is our solar system shrinking.
Oh shit.
So what I'm saying is,
you mean like the planets are closer than they were originally?
Exactly. So usually what happens in a supernova is where the sun starts moving faster to where it brings everything in.
Okay.
So and they do have a theory that our sun will have a supernova at some point.
So it's spinning faster around us, or
it's just spinning faster.
It's orbiting faster.
It's just spinning faster. Period.
Like on its own axis.
on its own axis. But so my theory is there is a black hole in between us and Andromeda.
So my thing is, if the sun is spinning faster, which is drawing all the planets closer, that means we're getting closer to the sun.
Yeah. So then
hold on, no, ain't no. Yeah. So that's scary.
So hold on. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like in between us and Andromeda, there's a black hole that we have not seen. That's making it spin faster, then it's bringing both of us closer to each other. Now they haven't really. They said they have come out to say now that they don't really know what goes on in a black hole, but they used to think that when you get closer to a black hole, you would condense down,
right,
or pretty much smush into each other. It's kind of like going into the depths of the sea. But they have come out to say that may be not the case no more. That things get sucked into the black hole, and they used to think that light couldn't travel out, but they kind of almost proved that wrong. So there's still some unknowns with a black hole, but I think what it's doing is drawing our solar systems closer to each other. And so, because like I said, there's just things with like tidal waves here, how Earth keeps getting hotter. It may be some of greenhouse effect, but with us,
if y'all can see my face, my eyeballs are big as shit because I'm nervous.
But
I got a question.
With Earth getting hotter, tidal waves are getting bigger. You got polar caps melting.
Quick.
Like I said, I've even noticed now. Like I go out, and you used to be able to see like a glimpse of the moon during daytime.
Facts.
But you can actually take a telescope and actually look at the moon during the daytime. Like you can see the craters and everything.
There's also theories that the moon is fake, because if you take your iPhone and say I had this magnet right here that's a circle, white circle, and I take that iPhone at night and I zoom into that white circle, it'll make the surface of the moon on that circle. Have you heard that theory too?
I've heard that theory, but that's one theory I can't get down. Like
Okay.
I'm just like I know there's a moon there. I can see it.
But sometimes that moon be close as hell.
But that's what I'm saying.
And sometimes that sun be close as hell. Like, and when I say close as hell, I mean like fist size.
But that's what I'm saying. Everything's. I feel like everything's condensing. Like we're all getting closer together. And
so when you say a black hole on the other side of the sun, what happens when we go into that black hole?
Nobody knows yet.
Do you think that we go into the black hole and end up somewhere else? Do you think we go into the black hole and then push back out the other side? Or are we just going through the black hole and it's just like a warp in time? Like,
so
are we going back to the future? Is it a time?
See, I'm a very
time
big
machine.
I'm a very big time traveling person.
Yeah,
and I'm also a very big multiverse theory.
So
person.
You think we go into another universe? I think there's another universe on the other side. True. Yeah, but I ain't trying to find out because I mean, let's be honest. Like all these years of me living, the only thing that I've really been told is the black hole is bad. A black hole is not good. If we go into that black hole, everybody's dead. Like that's what I've been told over the years, and now they're trying like, oh yeah, this might not be the truth. This might not be the case. We might be okay. But it's definitely pulling two atmospheres closer together, two solar systems closer together.
I mean, all black hole is a supernova sun.
Yeah, so that means that two atmospheres, two solar systems are being pulled together, but they're never going to touch because if it's a black hole, one side's going to be sucked into that side, this side's going to be sucked into this side, so we're never going to touch, right?
Possibly. I mean, but it also could be one's on the one side of the black hole and one's on the other side of the black hole. We're moving closer, and one could go through one side, and us can go through the other side, but be in two different points at the same time. Like one side could be, let's say, a multiverse theory that it pulls it into, a different
dimension.
Yeah. And then the other side could be a time travel theory.
And then we just get pushed into another time.
We get pushed into another timeline.
Where there's freaking spacecrafts and aliens just shooting at everybody. I mean, and we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I
feel like they need to drive a rover into a black hole and see what happens.
And they have, I think they
not a rover, but
they have flown stuff into a black hole, but they just
it loses all communication.
Yeah. So
we'll put somebody on a suicide mission and see what happens. Yeah. But you ain't gonna be able to find out what happens because they're going to the other side.
Yeah.
Tie them to a tether and pull them back out if you can.
Back out. Or it could happen in like the Planet of the Apes, where he gets sucked into a wormhole and then come back to Earth and we're all apes.
Yeah, you don't know. That's why space science is so intriguing. It's so like, oh my God, I want to know everything. But they don't know shit.
Yeah. And what's even scarier is
that was
we
my
know
evil
more
villain
about
laugh.
Space than we do our own ocean.
Right. But when they say they are exploring space, are they actually exploring the depths of the sea? That's another theory.
That is another theory.
Look, y'all.
Because we
gonna change this episode to "Are you theoretical or not?"
Because I also believe that Atlantis has been in Antarctica this whole time.
Hey, we're getting off subject, and we're about to dive into another wormhole. Like the universe and the new galaxy is diving into each other as we speak. So I gotta cut it off right here. Do you have anything else on what's going on with
the missions?
With the mission?
No, I actually don't. But there are new missions coming up not every day, but they are doing
new updates.
Yeah, and they are looking to do other stuff. So we definitely will be looking into that.
And I do know that this is not the last you're going to hear about Dragonfly. This is not all they got to say. This mission does not start or launch until ETA is July 2028. The estimated time of arrival of this mission would be July 2028 is when they plan for it to start. But there's going to be so many more updates. There's going to be so many more theories. There's going to be so much more that is attached to these missions and what they're looking for out there. So we will definitely keep y'all up to date, and I'm sure this is not going to be the last mission. They might do another Endeavor or another Dragonfly 2 or a whole nother type of mission.
They got to test it somewhere else.
So. Yeah, and then you've got Elon Musk that's not attached to NASA, that's doing his own set of missions. So there's going to be so much more going on in space, science, and just space in general, and what's going on out there, what's coming at us, what's going away from us, and what we're going towards. So we will keep you updated on all that juicy tea and more.
And maybe even what's going on because like I said, they're still trying to figure out what's going on in our oceans. So
yeah, so they might dive deep and we're going to bring it to you soon.
So, yeah.
But until next time, I'm Javi, here with my boy D-Lo.
Yo.
And that's all we had today on the Mike Podcast. That's Mix in Chat. We'll see you later.
Peace.